at home. So this is, like we said, pages 9 to 11, the new book, Bits and Pieces, the fundraising problem, which we just talked about. So there's a 6th, 7th, and 8th grade fundraising competition. 6th graders are selling, what was it? Posters. And 8th grade calendars, 7th grade popcorn. Okay, so when you turn the page, it asks you some questions, to make some observations. And I know you guys made some observations, but there's several kids here: Marcus, Kimmy, Lakeisha, Andres, Finn, Eliza, and Chung. So there's all these different kids. I want you to take a few minutes on your own and read those. And then on your note paper, I wrote their names out. You can write their names out. And I just want you to tell me, do you agree with their statement? Is it true? Or do you disagree with their statement? Is it false? So you're going to record that, a true and a false. And I'll give you a few minutes to. That's okay. Let's talk about what you've done so far. So we're looking at problem 1.1. At least you've had a little bit of time to think about it. So you've done a few, right, Echo?
Yeah, I think so.
What do you think about Marcus's statement? The 6th grade goal is 150 more than the 8th grade goal.
Yeah.
What about you, Echo?
I think it's true because what I did was I was 150 times 2, which equals 300.
Sure. Okay. So if we look at the goals, I think I have them here too. A little bit easier. So the 6th grade goal is 300, and the 8th grade goal is 150. And Marcus said the 6th grade goal is 150 more than the 8th grade goal. So I agree with you, because if you take the 8th grade goal, which is 150, and add 150 to it, we get the 6th grade goal. So we would give Marcus a true. Read me the one that Kimmy says, Haley. What's Kimmy say?
So the 6th grade
Look at, that's the 3rd time I've done something kind of spacey like that today. I was looking at the 6 here, I guess. 6 and, yeah, thank you. Good job catching my mistake. Okay, Haley, what did Kimmy say?
So, when the 6th graders meet their goal, they will have rated 2/3 of the 7th grade goal.
Okay, so if you look at the right, do you see I kind of made some fraction towers here? Or they're going to be little towers anyway. And these are the different goals for each class. And so, like we just kind of showed, the 8th grade, if you add 150 to this, you would get the 6th grade goal. And now they're talking about thirds. So read that one more time. It says,
when the 6th graders meet their goal, they will have raised 2/3 of the 7th grade goal.
so if we take like a pencil and just kind of, just look pretty lined up. Let me make sure I've kind of made ballpark little rectangles here. So if I sort of line them all up and kind of just eyeball thirds here, this is, let's say, when the 6th graders meet this goal, this would be 300. And they're asking, is that right? Are these equally into thirds? And Haley, what do you think?
I think that's correct. So this is.
So how could we do that? What should I do to 450?
What I did was it seemed to be going up by 15.
Okay, so hold on to that thought. I just want to show you where you're getting that from. Maybe you might notice that if you divide 450 into 3 parts, 45 divided by 3 is 15. So 450 divided by 3 is 150. So you're right. I agree. It's going up by 150.
Yeah. So how I did so if I know 150, is 1/3, and then 130 is 2/3, and that's where it stops.
Yeah, because that would be
yeah.
like the 6th grade goal,
Yeah.
right?
And then that, so that would be.
And if I add another 150 to 300, see if I can do addition correctly this time, I'm gonna get 450, right? So, would we agree that this is 2/3 of 450?
Yeah.
So you guys over there should be facing this way, right? So you can also write this down in your notes. You should have in your notes maybe some fraction towers. Show some things, because you're going to use this concept the whole book. And then I would agree that the fraction piece of this is 1/3 of the whole, and this is 2/3 of the whole. And it's the 6th grade goal is the same height, right? $300. So we would say that Haley is correct. What about Lakeisha? Somebody new. Yeah, Sebby, what's Lakeisha say?
Lakeisha says the 8th grade goal is half of the 6th grade goal.
Would you say, looking at my picture, that that is true?
Yes.
Yeah. The 8th grade goal is 150, and 150 plus 150 is 300. So the 8th grade goal is half of the 6th grade goal. So we give a true to Lakeisha. How about Peter? Andres?
Andres, I put that he is right.
What does Andres say? Refresh my
Oh,
memory.
sorry, yeah. For every dollar the 8th graders plan to raise, for every dollar the 8th graders plan to raise, the 6th graders plan to raise $2.
And what does that mean to you? So for every dollar the 8th graders plan to raise, the 6th graders plan to raise $2. What does that mean?
It's practically just multiplying by 2.
It's multiplying by 2. And so if I double 150, I get 300. So another way to say it is for every dollar 8th graders raise, the 6th graders will raise 2. We'll give it true to Andres. How about Ben Cave? What's Ben say?
Ben says, for every $60 the 6th graders plan to raise, the 7th graders plan to raise $90.
For every $60 the 6th graders plan to raise. So I'm going to have to take my 6th grade money and divide it, see how many 60s go into it. So if I break my 300 into 60s, I get, how many times does that go in? Do you know, Kate? How many times does 60 go into 30? Well, how many times does 6 go into 30? Think of it that way. 6 times 1 is 30. You can do this. Right. So 60 times 5 would be 300, wouldn't it? So there's 5 sets of 60 in 300. And it's saying that if I divide the 6th grade tower into 5 parts, each part would have to be $60. And if I divide the 7th grade tower into 5 parts, it says if I divide the 7th grade tower into 5 parts, I'm going to get $90. Is that true? Because if they're both divided into 5 parts, for every one part that's $60, there should be one part that's $90 in the taller tower. That's a harder one, but it's true. So we're going to give Ben a true. What about Eliza, Sean?
The 6th grade goal is 200% of the 8th grade goal.
6th grade goal is 200% of the 8th grade goal. True or false? Do you know what 200% means? What's it mean? 100% over is one way to think of it, right? So the eighth grade goal is 150. Is there another 100% up here? Yeah, so one way is to say it's an additional 100%, or it is what? 2 times or double. So would we agree that the 6th grade goal is double the 8th grade goal? Yeah, so we put a true there.
I mean, the 8th grade goal is double to the 6th grade.
No, I meant the 6th grade goal is double the 8th grade goal.
Oh, this is, I get that.
Did I say it funny?
Yeah.
When it read it, it sounded like
Okay, so read it one more time, Kate, for me to make sure I didn't make a mistake. So it's more, because it's more than 100%, and it's 2 times more. Does that help? Right, and what's Chung say?
Chung, for every $2 the 8th graders plan to raise, the 7th graders plan to raise $1.
True or false?
It's false.
Why? What's wrong with that? For every $3 that the 8th graders plan to raise, the 7th graders plan to raise $1? What's wrong with that?
Well, to me, it just doesn't make sense.
Okay, so
I think
can you be more specific? Why doesn't it make sense? Give me one reason.
The reason why it doesn't make sense is because if
For every $3 that the 8th graders made, the 7th graders are going to make $1. What's wrong with that?
that is okay.
Well, like, who would make more money then?
The 8th
Yeah, and the tower's short, right? So, Peter, what's going on? What should we,
I think he messed up, and instead of doing $3 for the 8th graders and $1 for the 8th graders and $3 for the.
it's opposite, right? For every $3 the 7th graders make, there's $1 made by the 8th graders. So, Chung made a mistake. He got mixed up. He's the only false.
yeah.
Yeah, you made a mistake, right? It happens, right? Okay, part B. We kind of talked about part B. Sort of just when you first read, I asked you to give me your thoughts. Part B, write some more true comparison statements for the principal to read over the loudspeaker. So what we're going to do, we've talked about that already, is we're going to look at part C. And we might not finish part C. Okay, but you have enough of a start on those notes to do the couple homework problems that are on the board. There's 8 problems.
Wait, no, 35 to 40 is 5.
35 to 40,
Plus
35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40 is 6 problems.
There's one on page 27.
And then problems 1 and 2.
35 and 40 is on page 27. No,
Well,
35, 36, 37, 38. Oh.
huh.
What? I just like messed up all my addition skills.
Well, we can talk about that later. Listen, guys, we're gonna talk about the second part of this problem for the few minutes left in class, but we're gonna pick up with it tomorrow. I'm just saying that you still will be able to do the homework. So I just want to tell you what this is about, and we'll warm up with this tomorrow. It's really a fun problem. So it turns out the teachers are getting in on the fundraising, right? That's how it always works, right?
It's so true.
So they're jealous of the competition. So the principal's excited about this, but this is like the speaker of my old school. Not very good. And so this is what happens. The principal gets on and says, "Good morning, students, teachers, and staff. The teachers have joined the school fundraiser. They will be selling books for summer reading. They have set a goal of $2. This is $210 more than the graders, but only 4/5 as much as the graders. For every $60 the teachers plan to raise, the graders plan to raise $50. So what are you supposed to be doing? What are you supposed to be doing, Carson?
Try to find out, like, how much they're, so,
What are you supposed to be doing where I made those static sounds?
you're trying to see what they said.
Yeah, you're supposed to be, it's like a fill in the blank, right?
You clues.
Yeah.
They're giving you clues, and we're gonna warm up with those clues tomorrow, okay? So I'm gonna post this as a 2-part recording, because if you need help tonight, even though we haven't answered the mystery question here, you have a little bit of comparisons for problem 1 and 2 in the homework, kind of gives you that kind of thinking. Does that make sense? So I'm gonna stop it.